So in lab 16 we have two gases, gas A, all right, and gas B. And these gases we're going to identify their molecular mass based upon the ideal gas law formula or the derivation of the gas law formula using molecular mass. Now, what we're going to do is, to do the lab, we have to fill our containers. Our containers already have our volumes written out for us, so we kind of circumvent the way of filling this up, possibly with water, and then measuring that. So we know the volumes here. So what we're going to do is, to fill these flasks, it's very important. These two gases have two different types of densities as compared to air. So you have to make sure that when you fill this flask up, you do so appropriately based on their density. Now you can see that I have the valve facing up for A, and you see the valve pointing down for B. There's a reason for that, because of their density. So if I'm going to fill flask A up, okay, the first thing I do is take my cap off. I'm going to keep that handy because I want to cap it immediately after. So I'm going to turn this flask down, and I'm going to open up this container. If it's already open and moves, you're good. Don't crank it open. So leave that open. And now you can see by bending this is called a balloon valve, bending it backwards, forward, okay, bending it, the gas comes out. So I'm just going to put this over, and using my thumb, just bend it. And wait 10, 15 seconds. And then immediately put the top on. Notice I keep this flask for gas A upside down. It's a gas that is less dense than air, so therefore it would leave the flask. And now I can, once it's tight, I can turn it upright, and now I can mass this flask that has gas A in it, totally gas A. We're going to assume that we flushed out all the air as the air from the gas came in, went up this way, and then displaced out the air. If we wait long enough, about 15 seconds or so, that's a good estimate. Take this now and mass this on the scale. The scale will be on lab table 1, and just mass this out, and now you have the mass of A and, of course, this flask. Okay? Now, how would you do B? B's a little different. It's a little more dense than air. So what we're going to do is we're going to notice its valve is placing down. Of course, make sure it's open. Okay, and you can see the gas pressure gauge here. It's a board-on tube that we talked about. Yeah. Now I'm just going to let this gas go. All right, just showing you. All right, take my flask, keep my top handy. This time though, I'm going to go below, and because this gas is more dense than air, it's going to fill the bottom up of this flask, and of course, it's going to displace the air out. And for the same reason, and it has the same balloon valve, all I'm doing is just pushing it one way or the other. There's no one way to push the valve. So in any case, it's on, and I'm going to flush it out. Wait about 15, 20 seconds or so, just to make sure you got all the air out. And I guess that's about good. And now I'm going to immediately put the top back on, and now I'm going to mass this out. And now I have a flask full of gas B with in this flask, and I would mass it out. And of course, I'd be subtracting out the empty flask that we get using our density equation for air to continue on the lab. So that's important that you fill these gases appropriately to do the lab. If not, you will not get any kind of data that makes any sense. All right, good luck.